and at almost one question you can expect. So at least we should have a little material where you can prepare, one question, maybe two. So I'm just giving you the basic information about this. You can find out enough material on YouTube, Google, in your personal library, class notes, many more. But these are quick notes. So why, where you can't read book, you cannot do anything, then you listen this audio. This is going to help you to write your answer better. So let's start. Basically, this is a part of Anglo-Norman literature, and we are dealing with the medieval literature, which is part of your syllabus also. So let's say I will be changing colors also, just for fun. The Lais of Mary, France. The Lies of Mary, France. Mary, who is Mary? A number of suggestions have been proposed for the identity of this wonderful 12th century poet, Mary, Marie, abbess of Shaftesbury. Okay, this is the information we collect here, because during this 12th century we find that there are many Mary. There are 3-4 Mary. Is reference of Mary comes, and how this Mary is different. So we generally identify her with the abbess of Shaftesbury, the illegitimate daughter of Geoffrey Plantagenet and half sister of Henry II. This is what the important reference you need to remember, because she is a half sister of Henry II, King of England. Is a plausible candidate, but Mary, abbess of Reading, Mary, first of Bulgurn, Mary, abbess of Barking, and Mary de Million, wife of Tablot, are all possibilities. So that's what I said you in the beginning, that there are many other Marys also. Mary, abbess of Reading is there, Mary first, then Mary, abbess of Barking, Mary Millon, wife of Hugh Talbot. So these could be possibilities, but we are dealing with Mary, abbess of Shaftesbury. So you just remember this. Okay. Now, there were a lot of Marys, after all, but only a few could read and write in English. So this is also another characteristics we need to remember, that there must be many Marys, but those who could read and write English, Latin and Anglo-Norman French. It is not inappropriate, however, for her to be a bit mysterious and even emblematic as the author of these strange, suggestive and intriguing poems. One important thing we do know about her is that she also translated the Yoshpat, a collection of 103 Aesopic fables, which could have influenced the Lies, but at least suggests something about her taste in literature. So, fables are there, very famous, allegories are very famous in this medieval writing. That's how you identify. There is a fabulous quality to these poems, which are at one and the same time childish and very knowing, innocent and sophisticated. The order of the poems is different in different manuscripts of Lies, and it may well be that Mary didn't write all of them, but that the one she did write were good enough to have the other attribute to her, perhaps as an homage, or it could have been that a scribe through in another 2 or 3 that he liked, X had space for, and that looked to him to be similar. So there could be chances that all of the poems are not written by her, but as she has written something similar and the theme is being correlative, so we can actually attribute rest of to her also. But that is not exactly perfect line I'm telling you. This could be at least we can give her a benefit of doubt. So that's how we can attribute her writings. The unnamed king she addressed at the end of the prologue was almost certainly Henry II, England. He was a ruler during 1154 to 89. Her half brother, assuming she was the abbess of Shaftesbury. The Norman conquest, for its cruelty, brought European political and literary life to England. In the 12th century, the French were producing chansons de geste, as well as love lyrics of the true doors, and troviers, and humble number of religious and philosophical works that write, such as Saint Bernard and Abelard. Many of these would have been educated in France, almost certainly in convent, and would have been familiar with the most of these examples of efflorescence of the 11th and 12th century. These are courtly poems, which is to said that they fall within the tradition of sophisticated literature that requires an appropriate audience of king. One generally find at courts of the England kings and noblemen. They are full of wit and elegance if they pretend to be simple folk tales. They rely on the capacity of their readers, or more likely hearers, to understand their ambiguity and richness. One might think of these poems as the toys for adults, for they are decorous variations on the theme from fairy tales and marchant. Mary's subject are of the charm and difficulties of love, various kinds, the way that goodness and weakness are rewarded and punished in a complicated world. So, this could be the theme. You can actually understand this is a theme, subject of, what is the subject matter of her writing. But it would be disservice to her and to the poems try to extract the philosophical and political positions from a piece that are, I think, written as entertainment and deliberately mixed in approach and attitude. The form itself is, imposes certain constraints, and for the lies is a shorter than romantic poems. So this could also be, I mean, this area you can actually associate with the theme and the subject matter. This would be easy for you to understand. So longer than a lyric, shorter than chanson, lie has its own natural domain to which Mary was particularly well suited. So this is how the language part we are dealing, the devices which are being used here. That's what the quality. My intention in making a new translation was not to supply student in a literature course. I mean, this is what the writer is saying about the, what they thought of this. If these pieces had been written in Year Mary's France from New London, they would be very much worth reading. So that's how these poets are. Now, in this Mary de France, we are only dealing with two characters, Equitan, and there is another character, that is Guigemar. So you just have to deal with this. I'm just giving you quick short notes. What is there in Equitan and then Guigemar? Just quick notes, okay? Even if once you are able to listen this audio again and again, it will help you a lot. So don't miss it. Equitan, plot summary. What is there in plot summary? Equitan, the king of Nantes. These are the information which you need to write in your answer. Equitan, the king of Nantes, falls in love with the beautiful wife of his Saint Charles. The king agonizes between his feeling for her and his loyalty towards the Saint Charles. When the Equitan declares his sentiments for her, she is incredulous because of the difference in rank and between them. He convinces her that his feelings are genuine and he would be willing to be her servant. The couple begins their affair. So in this way, the affair started. As the affair progressed, Equitan advisors pressure him to marry. One day, the St. Charles' wife tearfully asks the king if she will one day be set aside in favor of another, because having many wives was a custom during this time. More highly born woman who can become his wife. The king tells her that she is only one love and that would marry her if not for her husband. The wife suggests that the idea of killing the sun child by preparing a bath of boiling water, her idea is that the king and her husband will take a bath and then the king will claim that the Saint Charles mysteriously died. So the killing of a lady is being planned here. Later on, the king and the son shall go on hunting trip. They stay in a lodge where there are two bathtubs side by side in the bedroom. When When the Sanshal goes out to fetch something, the king and the woman prepare the trap, and they have intercourse. The Sanshal returns the lodge and finds the bedroom door locked. He bangs on the door so persistently that the door bursts out open, showing the couple in each other's arm. The king, ashamed by his nakedness, and tries to hide himself and runs straight into the tub, boiling water. The Sanshal, angered by his wife's infidelity, tossed her into the tub as well. So that's how the unfaithful couples are scalded to death. So this is how, I mean, this is a kind of, you can see karma theory, how your actions lead to the result. So that's how. So this is what the story, Equitan story is there. So Equitan was an honest man, and he was being duped and cheated, and then finally the punishment is being given. Now, theme, what is the theme? The purpose of Equitan seems to be dedicated. Mary summarize the lesson of lay. Whoever want to hear some sound advice can profit from this example. He who plants evil for another may have that evil rebound back to him. These are the lines in this poem, line number 307 to 310. This theme is being propelled here. The tub of the boiling water became the symbol, according to scholar Hanning and Ferrante, of the trickster tricked and of the immoderate lover, fatally burned by his ungoverned passion. That's how it made line number 69. So this is a particular theme. You can listen it again and again. You can read also, and if you read it loud, it will also help you to understand better. Okay, so this is what the theme is there. So the purpose of Equitan seems to be dedicated. Mary summarized the lesson of the day. Whoever want to hear some sound advice can profit from this example. Who has plans evil for another may have evil rebound back to him. This is line number 307 to 310. The tub of boiling water become a symbol, according to scholar Hanning and Ferrante, of the trickster tricked and of the immoderate lover fatally burned by his ungoverned passion. So that's how, if we are tricking or cheating to others, then it comes back. The love described is irresponsible because the lover give into passion while knowing the negative consequences. It is unbalanced, and it prevents the king from having a legitimate hire, a cause of social insecurity. It is inappropriate because it causes the king to break the boundary of loyalty to his son's child, and wife to break marriage vows with her husband without a good reason. So this is what the first story. Now the second one is Guigemar. So what is there in this Guigemar? Yes. Guigemar is a Breton lie, a type of narrative poem written by Marie de France during 12th century. The poem belongs to collection known as the Lies of Marie de France. Like the other lies in collection, Guigemar is written in Anglo-Norman language, a dialect of Old French in rhyming octosyllabic couple. Guigemar is one of the work in which the author explicitly gives her name as Mary. In the prologue of his life, she proclaims two goals of her work: to give rightful praise to people who have earned, despite what envious rivals may have said, and to present their stories behind certain songs that were well known at the time. It has been suggested that the prologue to Guigemar predate the overall prologue in Lies in Harley, 978 manuscript, the only manuscript that records all 12 of the Mary's non-lies. What is the plot of Guigemar? Let's come. Guigemar, son of a loyal vassal to the king of Brittany, is a courageous and wise knight who, despite his many qualities, has been unable to feel romantic love. One day on a hunting expedition, he mortally wounded a white hind, but he is injured as well. Before dying, the hind speak to him, leaving a curse that his wound can only be healed by a woman who will suffer love for him, and he will suffer as much love for her. Guigemar wanders through the a forest until he finds a river, and lavishly decorate boat with no crew. He boards it uh, and lie down in pain. When he gets back, he realizes that the boat has left port and he is unable to control where it is going. Okay. The boat takes him to the land where the Lord has imprisoned a lady out of jealousy. The lady is permitted to see only two other people, Maiden who has become confident and an elderly priest. The only part of her prison that is not walled off a garden surrounded by sea. The magical boat carrying Guigemar docks near the garden. The lady and her maiden tend to the knight's wound and shelter him with their gilded cage. Guigemar and the lady fall in love almost immediately, but they are each uncertain if their feelings are mutual. The knight confides his feeling to the maiden and who arranges secret meeting with her. Once the lady is convinced of the sincerity of Guigemar motives, they consummate their love. Their year and half of bliss is ended with the Lord's Chamberlain discovered them together. Then the Lord forced Guigimar to return to his own country as a sign of their fidelity to one another. And lady tries to notice shirt that only she can untie without tearing or cutting, and give her a belt tie with the note that only can unite. Guigimar is hailed uh, as a hero in his own country, but he can only think of his distant love. Meanwhile, the Lord permissioned his lady within a marble tower. Uh, Meanwhile, the Lord imprisoned. After 2 years of captivity, she became very depressed out of her longing for Guigemar, and she managed to escape the tower and consider drowning herself to the nearby sea. She then spot the same mysterious ship that had carried Guigemar long ago, and she decides to board it. The ship brings her to Brittany, where she is taken captive by the Lord a Meriadius. He falls madly in love with her and tries to rape her, but not in the belt prevent his attempt. Later on, Meriadius hold a jousting tournament with Guigimar attacking, knowing that Guigimar wears shirts that with a note that only his true love can untie, and that the lady wears a belt that only her true love can untie. Lord Marides summons her to meet Guigimar, unsuspecting the two are connected. Guigemar does not recognize the lady, therefore, to test her identity, he allows her to try to untie the note shirt that she had given him years ago. Although she succeeds, Guigemar still refuses to accept her identity until she reveals the noted belt. She then tells him of her sorrowful journey. Mary Deuce attempts to keep the lady under his control, but Guigemar lays siege to his land. Many people die in both sides of the conflict, but finally Guigemar prevails. Allusion and influence. The murder that decorates the queen's room shows Venus, the goddess of love, throwing Ovid's Aremedia Amoris into a fire. This work by Roman poet Ovid counsels readers how to avoid being swept away by love. According to French historian Patrick Carneves and Andries, character Guigimar may be based upon Guigemar's. The chivalry romance Cheneride shows influence of this work, and it's seen between overlaps. This is not required. So, what is this? The Lies of Mary de France series of 12 short narrative Breton lays by the poet Mary de France. They are written in Anglo-Norman and were probably composed in 12th century, most likely between 1155 to 1170. The short narrative poems generally focus on glorifying the concept of courtly love and the adventures of their main characters. Mary's lays are uh, uh, thought to form the basis of what would eventually become the genre known as the Breton Lies. Despite her stature in Anglo-Norman literature and medieval French literature, generally known for Mary herself, but it is thought that she was born in France and wrote in England. So then we are about to finish. So what is this character? I think I need to change the color. So literacy character. Mary de France lays told in octosyllable, 8-syllable verse are notable for their celebration of love, individuality, and character. The vividness of description, hallmark of the emerging literature of the time. 5 different manuscripts contains one or more of the lays, but only one. Harley 978 and 13th century manuscripts housed in British Library. Preserve all 12. It has been suggested that if the author has indeed arranged lies are presented in Harley 978, she may have chosen this overall structure to construct the positive and negative actions that can result from love. In this manuscript, the old lies Guigemar appraises the character who expresses love for other. Comparison even lies such as Equitan. So actually we are associated with this. This paragraph is significant. Actually you can mention that this the the language device which is being used here. What is this? In form and structure of the poem, basically the theme and how this is, both the characters are there. So you can actually repeat this paragraph again, and you can uh, I mean, this is a significant paragraph. Okay, so I'm just underlying it. You just focus it. Henry Harley's 978 manuscript also include 56 lines prologue in where he describes the impetus for her composition of lies. In the prologue, Mary writes that she was inspired by the example of ancient Greek and Roman to create something that would be both entertaining and morally instructive. She also states her desire to preserve for posterity and tales that she has heard of Mary's lies. uh, I'm not mentioning all these because this is not in syllabus. So otherwise you can read out, you can give a reading of yourself. uh, this line is this scene is being paused, so if you want to take a screenshot also, you can take it. So now I'm just striking off, and these are references from where you can find out if you want to give reference in your answer. So that's how Stephen Greenblatt and Stephen Greenblatt. And this is Khan Mohammadi, Shirin Aziz Khan Mohammadi, Salvage Anthropology and Displacing on the Lives of Mary de France. I think these articles are available on JSTOR. If you just want to find out, this is on the basis of this reference, you can find out. So that's how I try to give you the brief introduction and the brief information which you can use for your answer. This is a very significant, uh, notes simply. Maybe you can find it available anywhere, but I have made it in an audio form also, so you can listen it. Just listen these two, which are significant for your syllabus. All the best, and share, like, and subscribe my channel. God bless you.